absolutely
Yeah,
blew the field away. I mean, incredible performance. It's just, he's an inspiration, the lad. You know, his attitude is just incredible. You
yeah.
know, he's been criticised down the years, and he just keeps going. He don't seem to sort of put it aside and just blows people away. He's amazing.
Yeah, we had him on the live podcast before the Crucible, and he did. I mean, obviously, in the end, he went out in a disappointing fashion in the Crucible, but it did come across his focus and he thinks very seriously about it. People have talked about him in the past like he's not that guy, but he clearly is very, very kind of driven and works very hard on it.
Yeah, well, you don't get to that level if you're not all in, on everything. And he does work hard. And yeah, I think to get to that level, you can have all the ability in the world. It doesn't matter. It's more mindset. You know, he has got that winning mindset. He's always had it.
5 titles last season. We spent half of last season talking about him on this podcast, and it appears he's just picked up where he left off, basically.
Yeah, and I think I nearly said that to him in the interview because I thought, well, shall I mention you after the World Championship, which he was a bit disappointed with? But I didn't want to mention it. You know, he just won a tournament. But he had that great year. Had that, he's one of the favourites going into the World. Obviously, didn't work out for him, but that could have stopped him a little bit. Hurt his confidence. But he's just basically gone on holiday, following his Insta. He's come back and he's just gone. Let's just go, and he's just had a bit of practice, got his head down, and just blew the field away. So. Incredible, that's brilliant.
Where did you go on holiday, Holty? This is the sort of insight that we fired you for.
I think he went somewhere. I think he went to Dubai.
There you go. Yeah,
he might have gone to Greece as well.
This is a role I can see you excelling in this season, just stalking people's Instagrams.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
It was just a Judd Trump show, wasn't it? Incredible.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about Sean Murphy. It was an impressive tournament from Sean as well.
Yeah, good to get a final under his belt early doors, yeah.
8-5 down to Selby, 4 centuries, could have been 5, really impressive.
Not many people turn around against Selby like that either. This whole thing is how he wears you down. We've talked about it before.
Yeah, but it's all we really, and rightly, we talk about Judd because I mean he destroyed Ronnie in the semi-final. It's been Ronnie's event the last 4 years. I think he's won it 5 out of 6, something like that, the last 4 years. So basically, Ronnie's just used to turn up and winning, but Judd took him apart.
Before that, the last man to beat him in Shanghai was on this call, I believe.
So glad you mentioned it.
It has to be mentioned.
Shoehorn it in somewhere.
What a segue that was!
It's a special kind of player that beats Ronnie in
only
Shanghai.
a few in the world.
An elite pairing.
The reason I knew is because you yourself retweeted that stat at the beginning of the tournament.
Yeah, but obviously, not all records. Can last forever.
No,
I felt like Stephen, like some of your records have fell. I know how you feel now. Do you know what I mean?
Your place in history.
Happy for the person, but really inside you're a little bit gutted.
One of the remarkable things about Judd's win, obviously, was not the final, but the semi where he destroyed O'Sullivan, which is not a sentence we say very often. We've already mentioned that a certain Michael Holt was the last man to beat him in Shanghai. Ronnie's such a natural in that environment, obviously loves it. Never seen him being dominated like that. So obviously there's a lot of comparisons between Judd and Ronnie over the season. There certainly were last season. You expect that to happen again. How big is it for Trump to have put down a marker like that early? Because there's some talk last year. You mentioned a couple of times, Stephen, that he does still tend to run up against the obstacle of Ronnie himself when they meet. And there was a lot of anticipation that would be the showdown at the Crucible. Never happened, of course. So this is first meeting for a while. It must be a big psychological marker for Judd.
I think it was a very important win for Judd because he used to dominate Ronnie in all the finals, all the big matches they played up till about sort of pre-COVID time. There was a time where Ronnie looked a little bit intimidated by Judd.
Yeah.
But then the last 2 or 3 seasons, Ronnie's had the better of him, and Judd has looked a little bit the other way, intimidated by Ronnie. So even this semi-final, I think, was a huge result for Judd. Ronnie missed a lot of easy balls, which is something he never does. Blacks off his spot, things like that. You just don't expect that from Ronnie. But Judd was like centuries, scoring heavily, and it doesn't matter who you are. If someone's just piling in the breaks, winning frames of one visit, you're going to be under pressure. But I think a far bigger result in terms of scoring for Judd than for Ronnie.
Definitely, yeah. I think, like you say, even when you got a lead like that, the fact that you can just keep kicking on as well. You can blow yourself up, your big leads and all that, but he just seems to. I just like saying last time before. I just love his attitude. I love the fact that he can just not care and just pot all the balls. And yeah, he's got, you know, he looks the best player in the world at the minute.
He must have got tremendous pleasure as well, because Ronnie is just like a god in China.
In China, yeah.
So I mean, Judd's very well liked, very well supported, but Ronnie is a god. So all the support would have been pretty much for Ronnie. So to do that on, I can't say Ronnie's backyard. He lives, he's Essex. He's not from Shanghai.
Yeah, quite a long way from his actual backyard.
But it kind of feels like it. So that was another thing for Judd to be really pleased with. He's won it the last 4 years, Ronnie, and he's gone to the semi-final and he's taken him apart, and that would just give him huge confidence.
Yeah, almost like an away win, as you say, given the support Ronnie's got there. Well, it'll be very interesting to see what happens next time they run up against each other